Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Monday, April 10th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. It was a rare, quiet weekend in 49ers land, probably because of the Easter holiday, which happy Easter to all those that celebrated. So I want to talk about something I read recently, and this is from ESPN's Mike Clay. He ranked all 32 teams position by position, and then he gave each team an overall score based on the importance of each position. And he came to an interesting conclusion about the 49ers that I thought you should hear. Basically, I'll go through all the positions and tell you where he ranked them, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts. Quarterback, he had the Niners 24th out of 32 teams. Running back first, wide receiver 11th, tight end third, offensive line 30th. Now, the one that jumped out to me is clearly the offensive line. Do the 49ers have some questions there? Yes. Is it the second worst offensive line in the league? That seems a little crazy to me. I know they start slow, but I've seen this team absolutely road grade people. So the second worst in the league seems kind of low for me. Tight end, I'm third. I'm fine with. Wide receiver, 11th. I'm fine with. Running back, yes, clearly the Niners have the best running back room in the league. Quarterback, here's the thing. 24th could be dead on accurate. That could easily be correct. But it could also be much higher than that. The 49ers have the potential to have a borderline top 10 quarterback this year. If Brock comes back healthy or if Trey Lance takes, the next few steps, they could clearly have much better than 24th. I understand the ranking now, but there's a lot of variance there. And obviously that variance changes the overall grade for the team and the offense. So these aren't obviously etched in stone. On the defensive side, second in defensive tackle, 17th for defensive end, linebackers first. Yes, that makes sense. Cornerbacks 24th and safeties 9th. Now, I do agree that corner, the depth especially, is a little shaky. Defensive tackle, I don't know who has better defensive tackles between Armstead and now Javon Hargrave. And if you throw in Javon Kinlaw as a third, I'm surprised that they were second. I'd like to see who we had at first. But defensive end is a big one, right? And this is another sort of variance position. If Drake Jackson develops into the kind of player that we think he can be, then all of a sudden it looks a hell of a lot better than 17th, which remember, that's basically average. There's 32 teams in the league. If you can get anything out of Drake Jackson, you could potentially have a monster front on the defensive line with Bosa and Jackson coming with the speed and the power from the outside, and then the defensive tackles collapsing things in the middle. It's weird that so much kind of hinges on certain players on both sides of the ball for the 49ers, but as it stands right now before the draft, that's kind of where we are. Even with safeties, if you look at that position, Talanoa Hufanga, okay, fine. Tayshaun Gibson, he led the team in interceptions last year, but some of those fell right into his lap. Is he going to be able to do that again? I don't know. Maybe give him credit for using his veteran savvy to be in the right place at the right time, something we did not always see from former 49ers safeties. So I do want to give Gibson some of the credit there. And he actually caught the ball too, which let's not look past that and assume those things. But there's a lot of variance at safety also. 9 probably, honestly, I think is a little high, but it could be there if certain things happen the way they happened last year. Overall, Mike Clay has the team at 16th, which is fascinating to me because I feel like if you ask anybody who has the best roster in the league, the 49ers are going to be one of the first 2 or 3 teams they mention easily. And yet, when you look at it like this, he has them at 16, which is dead average, basically. It's literally the middle of the league. So what you're saying is the 49ers have an average roster. And it's funny because you wouldn't think that when you first look at it. But I think what we can take away from this is that the team has to stay healthy. The top of the roster is still as good as anyone, but the depth is not as strong as it has been in years past. And I think that's why Mike Clay has the team where he does. Azeez Al-Shire's gone. Emmanuel Mosley's gone. Mike McGlinchey's gone. Daniel Brunskill's gone. Charles Omenihu's gone. Jimmy Ward is gone. And are these all pro players? No, but they're still really, really good players. And when you lose really, really good players, your roster's going to suffer a little bit. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Monday. We did get a little bit of news yesterday, just wasn't 49ers news. The Ravens have reached an agreement with free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. ProFootballTalk.com has the contract details. They are not quite what they appear on Twitter. One thing to watch, the NBA regular season has officially wrapped up, and the Warriors have earned the 6th seed in the Western Conference. So if you are so inclined, they'll take on the Kings in the first round of the playoffs. Game 1 is set for 5:30 p.m. next Saturday. One thing you may have missed, congratulations to Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo, who announced their engagement over the weekend on Instagram. For those that are interested, McCaffrey worked with Ring Concierge to design the ring, a cut oval flanked with epaulette side stones in a handcrafted gold and platinum setting. I'm sure it was very inexpensive. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Monday, everybody. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk tomorrow.